It's our side studios here back again with a new video. Today's video we're gonna talk about theme park rides. This is actually a new video series I'm creating called Retro Series. Honestly, we're still trying to move away from Chucky, but we're still gonna add Chucky in our channel little by little, but like not as much as 2023 and beyond. Before all that, my bad. Before all that, this is a new series. I'm trying to do something different for the channel. I am kind of tired of doing a lot of Chucky videos. I'm not giving up on Chucky. It's just that the videos of Chucky is just too much for me because we got a lot of channels doing that already, and I'm not one of the originals, but I'm one of the ones that came out of doing those type of videos on the channel in let's say 13 or 14, whatever. But anyways, we're gonna talk about Retro Series. That's a series about theme parks, rides, whatever. We're gonna be talking about Disney theme park rides too. Don't worry, it's not just gonna be Universal. But in this video, we're gonna be talking about E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial ride, aka E.T. Adventure ride, and we're gonna have a little history on this and where it all beyond went by. But anyways, let's just get this video started.
Nobody else grabs you, twists you, turns you, curls you, shakes you, shoots you, rocks you, loves you, and puts you right in the middle of all the action and adventure you've seen on the screen. Not anyone. If you want to go on the greatest rides based on the biggest movies, there's only one place you can. You've got to go to Orlando and go to Universal Studios, Florida, the #1 movie studio and theme park in the world. Universal Studios, Florida, the only place on earth where you can ride the movies.
Located in Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone, and then is now known as DreamWorks Land, E.T. Adventure opened in the park in June 7, 1990, and has been operating since day one, and is the only attraction operating today, day one, that's operating today. And Universal Studios Hollywood, it opened June 12, 1991, closed March 14, 2003, to be replaced by Revenge of the Mummy. Also opening with the park, Universal Studios Japan on March 31st, 2001. E.T. was located in the Hollywood area and is now closed since May 10, 2009, and has been replaced by Space Fantasy The Ride. So this ride is a dark ride suspense created for the flying bicycle chase scene from the 1982 film E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial, while introducing the E.T.'s home world, the Green Planet, featuring the sequel novel E.T.'s The Book of the Green Planet. Many of the rides and animatronics and exotic plants were designed and manufactured by Sally Corporations. In 1989, following the success of Earthquake, the big one, and Universal Studios Hollywood, which left positive impressions on Steven Spielberg's work, began on a new attraction to be based on his 1982 film E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. Universal Vice President and Executive Producer Peter Alexandra worked closely with Spielberg and led Universal creatives and creations of the dark ride attraction. Alexander, found the task a challenging, saying that the emotional impact of 2-hour-long film is not easily translated into 6 or 8-minute theme park rides. After suggesting that the chase scene from the film could transition into the voyage through E.T.'s homeworld, the Green Planet, Spielberg liked the idea but embraced the importance of keeping the story personal. He said guests should have a personal moment with E.T. and that the Green Planet should be displayed as a friendly place. Following Spielberg's advice, the scene displaying the Green Planet were designed to be both alien and friendly. Inspiration was drawn from the E.T. The Book of the Green Planet, a novel by William Coxswain, in which 1985 that serves as written sequel to the 1982 film. Character bionics of the shape of E.T.'s home featured in the attraction were directly influenced by the book, as the many plant-like creatures. Alexander also channeled his childhood experience with coral reefs off the coast of California, which he recalls had the appearance of an alien landscape. Underwater planet research was conducted and used by art directions to also aid in plant design. Sally Corporations was brought to assist designing and manufacturing over 300 animatronics and plants. To create the personal encounter in the ride and final, Universal worked with the Bricker Engineering to design an animatronic E.T. that could say goodbye to each guest by name as they passed. The system could be recognized as many as 20,000 names, which each guest would supply to a ride attendant earlier in the line queue. The complete ride opened as E.T. Adventure during the grand opening of Universal Studios Florida in 1990. Another instance of the ride opened at Universal Studios in Hollywood 1991, followed by a third Universal Studios Japan in 2001. The Hollywood version closed on March 14, 2003, and was replaced by The Revenge of the Mummy. The ride, the Japanese installation, closed on May 10, 2009, and was replaced by Space Fantasy The Ride. The E.T. Adventure in Orlando became the last remaining operations and later received a refurbishment in 2017. An E.T. Adventure was expected to open at Universal Studios South Korea in 2021, but plans for that theme park were scrapped. In 2012, the ride at Universal Florida received a new track switch by Dominican structure. Not Dominican. Demanic structure. The building housing E.T. Adventure at Universal Studios Florida, along with portions of the interior line queue, are themed to a sound stage where E.T. is begin film TV monitors overly display E.T. trivia, as well as clips of the various film crew members discussing their experience during the production of the film. Posters of the film 30th anniversary re-release in English, various other languages are on display near the end of the exterior queue where the pre-show takes place. Before entering the interior queue, Steven Spielberg appears on several overhead TV screens, telling guests that E.T.'s teacher Botanicus has asked E.T. to return to his home world, the Green Planet, because life there is dying. Only E.T. magical healing touch can save the planet and its habitats. So it's up to guests to bring him home. Spielberg describes that guests will make their journey on bikes as a ride vehicle is shown on screen. He also explains the needs for guests to give their names to one of his assistants, and in return they will receive the Extra-Terrestrial passport. The passport is a card containing a barcode that corresponds to a name given entered by a ride attendant into a computer. An E.T. animatronic will speak each name later in the ride's final. Following the pre-show video, entrance doors automatically open, revealing another room where guests will receive their passport cards before venting into the interior queue. Prior to the ride's refurbishment in 2002, celebrating the film's 20th anniversary to the pre-show display, a different video was Spielberg telling guests they were being cast as actors in a new scene inspired by the original film. The passports were instead described as passes that allow access on set, and the ride attendants were referred to as stagehands. Interior queue. The inside of a dark forest setting filmed with redwood trees reminisces scenes and sense of the film where E.T. is trying to avoid police capture, along with smells of pine that fills the queue. An animatronic Botanicus pre-really emerged from behind a thick bloom of a fog and lightning effects, pleading for E.T. return. Along the line cue, Gus passes by the communication device E.T. constructed in the film to phone home, complete with speak and spell props that display the letter help E.T. one a time. What's more hidden within the cue is the animatronic rabbit, referring the one that appears in the film opening. And another rare sighting is a visual E.T. glowing red heart moving through the trees, simulating and run through the forest. The queue ends and loading platforms where guests board ride vehicles. Now getting on board on the ride. Each individual seat is a bicycle whose handles come down as the lap bars. The bike in the middle of the front row contains E.T. However, in the attraction early years, guests also had the opportunity of riding a spaceship modeled after the one that the ET came to Earth on in the movie. These ride vehicles were removed as guests preferred to ride the bicycles, given how iconic they were in the famous flying scene in the movie. The vehicle traveler past NASA and police officers who give chase and try to arrest the riders and capture E.T. as they are about to be caught. A police car appears out of nowhere, and just as they are about to hit it, the bicycles begin to fly over the city and then outer space. From their bikes, the guests can see miniature city below, including real moving cars and even a football stadium and 2 baseball fields. The bikes are then transported to a kind of portal area with flashing lights, which, when finally turned around, arrive at the green planet. The guests then encounter Botanicus, who urges the visitors to save E.T.'s friends. E.T.'s healing touch travels through the green planet, reviving his friends and beginning the celebration with numerous babies E.T.'s frolling and playing. This lasts for about 3 minutes and is a huge contrast to the beginning of the dark and scary. While this part of the ride is light and colorful, with squirting water and singing at the end, guests pass an animatronic E.T. voiced by Pat Welsh, who thanks them all by the names they were given by traveling agent Spielberg's assistants. Then, in a flash of light, guests are sent back to Earth and into an unloading area. As guests leave the ride, they can sometimes hear E.T.'s voice reminding them, "I'll be right here." So this ride never really had much incident, being a family-friendly ride. But on February 17, 1992, a 9-year-old girl injured her leg while stepping in front of a moving platform of Hollywood's version of the ride. On October 15, 1996, a 28-year-old man fell 10 to 20 feet from the ride's platform in Florida while trying to step into a vehicle. He was taken to Orlando Regional Medical Center and treated for his injuries. In November 2004, a 35-year-old woman got her hand stuck in the safety bar off a Japanese version of the ride. An employee pulled it down and secured it. The woman suffered nerve damage in her right wrist, resulting in loss of use of 2 of her fingers and ultimately losing her job. The woman sued the park and received out of court settlement of $2,006. On January 31st, 2019, an 11-year-old boy was injured on the ride after his foot portion of his leg began stuck between the moving vehicle and the cement boarding platform. A lawsuit was fulfilled by the boy's mother seeking $15,000 in damage, claiming the multiple bones were broken, requiring injuries. I did heard about this part, this last incident, but there's rumors that they did it on purpose, but I'm not too sure about that situation. But honestly, how could you get injured on ET? ET is too friendly, and it's one of the, the rides that, even though it was built in the early 90s, there is no way getting injured on it unless you do these type of causes, which is non-common. This ride's been out for 30 years or 30 something years. And only like 2 or 3 reported in Orlando, and then 2 other ones reported in Japan, Hollywood, which they don't longer exist. So I don't know. This ride it's supposed to be family friendly, so there's no way you could get injured on this. It's rare. You know, I feel like the other rides you probably could get injured on, but this one is a hard to come by to get injured. So now we're done with some of those histories. You know, it's sad to say that Hollywood was the first one to remove this ride, while Japan was up next by 6 years. Honestly, if you think about it, people are sad about that ride leaving those parks, and sometimes end up visiting Florida because they're the only ones that have the ET, and it's the only #1 opening attraction to exist now. Knowing that Confrontation, Back to the Future, Jaws, Earthquake, I know Twister and Terminator were later on coming around. They no longer exist in the parks. But ET is day 1 opening in Florida, and I hope, you know, knowing that Spielberg has has something like put down. It's pretty much this ride's locked in. Pretty much as long as Spielberg has that deal with Universal Studios, this ride's not going nowhere. And the contract was supposed to be 50 years in 1988 or 89, or I don't know when they made that deal. So think about it. This contract started in 1990 when the park opened, and it's for 50 years. If anything, Spielberg only has his contract for about like less than 20 years. So we might have ET around for less than 20 years, or maybe forever. Because think about it. There is no theme park that kept the #1 attraction around besides Disney. Disney has rides that's been around for years, but ET's the only one has never been touched on these 30 years, 3 decades, or whatever, 4 decades almost, on Universal Studios. And you know, people, you know, are sad. Like I said, sad to say that there is nothing of the park left from when it opened. And just to get a little flavor, this ride is not going nowhere anytime soon. And even so, I do got some like props, not props. I got like the set they sell on the store. I got the 3 different cards they had in history of the ET ride. Honestly, I know they recently updated ET too as well, but honestly, man, you know, if they were to get rid of this ride, I will buy one of the props they have, like little mini ETs or Botanicas. It depends, you know, it depends on the price, depends on who gets dips on what. Just like the Terminator ride, I got some of the props of that ride. But yeah, just to say that 1990, this park was different from the year 2024. All I can say is, you guys like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I am gonna do Jaws and Back to the Future on Retro Series, so just know I ain't going nowhere with this series. I'm going to continue until we hit Epic Universe opening date. You know, I don't know when that is, but summer 2025 is what I heard. But yeah, like I said, if you like, comment, subscribe. You know, please comment what else ride you want me to put in the list, because as of now, there's only 2 more rides for this month or maybe next month to get a review of Retro Series. But we'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully, I get another list for next month, because I'm doing more. I'm not going nowhere. Like I said, peace.
All my candy!
There's only one place on Earth to find the largest selection of exclusive ET toys. Toys R Us, the place ET calls home.
Elliot.
No, Jeffrey with a G.
Elliot.
Okay, read my lips. Jeffrey.